I will send you the link again so you could go online and check the real-time power using rate of Taiwan. If you go to the website and you will see. The whole Taiwan is using on the gray area, which means we will not now wasting power. Everything is under the control. But the reason we are in green area is because it's only 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay? I think after 10 o'clock, we will go to the yellow area. And Taipei will be racing very high than Taichung. And you can see compared to other city here, this is the area in Taipei, Hsinchu. And this is the area in Taichung. And this is in Kaohsiung. This is the east part. Could any Taiwan student tell me why the south part we have more energy using in this time? Why? Yes, we have industry. We have industry in south part, okay? Like Taiwan Steel Company, Taiwan 钢铁, okay? Like Taiwan Gasoline Company. It's also located in south part. And in east part, why they didn't waste any kind of energy? 为什么东部用电量比较少？
There is few people living there.
There is fewer people living there, yes, and they didn't have industry there. Mainly, they are working on recreation things, like traveling things, and like they are growing the agricultural products there. So they didn't use much power there. So you can see easily in this website, it's uneven. Okay, the power using rate is uneven in each area. So unfortunately, Taipei is a capital city. So whenever they are short of power, we have to transport things to Taipei, okay, by using cable line to transport the power to Taipei. And it is also quite unfair because the nuclear power station not located in Taipei, okay? And the fire power station also not located in Taipei. But every resource is going to support Taipei. I'll go find another things for you. Here you can see, we go to the Taipei Power Company, and you can see now nuclear power support us like a 10%. It's already changed. It was like 23 to 25%, and mainly supported by the third nuclear power station located in Hengchun, in Kending. 这个地方它的 power station 就是核能，现在已经减量到10%了。那以前的话大概是在23到25，然后这个东西就是大概都是由第三核电厂提供这个能量的。那第三核电厂是在恒春，这样可以吗 ？Okay. And then you can see we have more green power. This is not green power. Liquid natural gas is we still have to burn in it. And well, it doesn't produce carbon dioxide much. It doesn't produce it. It's like burning out everything and create, I think, water mainly. A little bit carbon dioxide, not like burning charcoal. And we can see here, it's core, it's charcoal, okay, core. Now it's a civilized, the power station, and here is core, like 23%. I think 2 years ago, we still have like 70% by burning charcoal. Do you know the process we have to deal with this kind of charcoal, this kind of core, before we burn it? We have to smash it into a very, very tiny particle size. And then we could blow them into the system. I use the blow because we use the air to push them into a channel. And it's not like a burning, it's like an explosion because they have two tiny particles. And then they will seriously burning immediately. So that kind of way save time and produce more energy. Okay, but when we smash the charcoal, those tiny particles comes out and become air pollution. So for fire power station, even we didn't burn it, it's still release some pollutants. Okay, in Chinese. 火力发电需要先处理一些事情，包括煤矿。那不是你想象的，就是那个煤矿整块丢进去烧而已。它是要先把煤矿打碎，打得非常非常碎，变成粉尘的状态。然后它用气体把它吹入火力发电的这个系统里面。然后那个样子的粉尘其实像是爆炸的状态，好像是爆炸，它不是像是那种一颗慢慢燃烧，它是爆炸的状态。那有几个好处，第一个就是快速燃烧，第二个就是可以提供更多的热能。好，这两个优点。可是问题是你在粉碎它的过程中，它就已经开始在释放污染物质了。所以这是火力发电其实是非常不环保的。Okay, keep in your mind, the fire power station is quite uneco-friendly. Okay, it's not eco-friendly. Okay, so it goes to the transportation. Since we don't have this kind of natural resource, where are they from? Immediate comes Iran, yes, and Arabian, yes, they export crude oil. But crude oil is a very expensive things or cheap things compared to gold, to diamond, or to other iron something. The crude oil is cheap or expensive. Yes, compared to other raw material, the crude oil is cheap. So you will transport it by using airplane, or you transport it by using ship. A ship takes a long time. Okay, ship takes a long time. It's geographic things. We go to Google Map again. Afghanistan, Iran, Arabian. If we want to transport the crude oil from Arabian to Taiwan, they could not go directly because we have land to block the way, right? They have turning a circle. You may think, we can directly go here. You could find a shortcut. But don't forget that we still have a current, we still have ocean current here. If you didn't follow the current, it will slow down your speed, okay? So it's not like draw a straight line on a map and then you can go. It's not like that. You have to consider about a lot of things, okay? Normally, if we support the energy to those ships by burning charcoal, burning gasoline, and they can move faster. So average time, the transportation on the sea, still using crude oil, still use the gasoline as their energy resource. Okay? 我刚刚讲的事情是说，我们看起来从这个地方地图上可以画很快的、很直的捷径，然后到台湾，但实际上不是的，因为你要考虑洋流的问题，所以这些东西它没有办法直接过来。它如果是逆着洋流的话，就会走得很慢。那我们现在会怎么做？我们现在要节省时间，我们就给船动力，然后这些船的动力也是来自于燃烧汽油、石化产品，这样可以吗 ？Okay, and so for transportation like that, the container, the cargo ship is important. You can see from Arabian to Taiwan, it takes a long distance. Take long distance here. So I want to tell you about one international event. This is the Suez Canal. Where is the Suez Canal? This has happened on March this year. And one huge cargo ship blocked the Suez Channel. And no ship can go past this channel. If you see on this PowerPoint, here is the location. Here's the location on the map. From Mediterranean Sea to Red Sea, all the countries in here use this channel to bring a shortcut. Otherwise, they will have to ship around whole Africa. Here you go, and you see, if we didn't have this shortcut, everything will have a longer distance, right? It will take like 3 days more if you want to go this circle. And consider about the fuel they use, consider about the energy they waste, consider about the human resource, human cost. and human need to eat food, and this machine need maintenance. Consider about all those costs. This ship, this cargo ship, willing to pay the transportation fee for this terminal. Okay, there is a data told us like if you go to the Suez terminal, it will save you like 43% of distance. So, which means the costs are reduced. Okay, I want to use the cargo ship to transport a cheap stuff. So everything I need to consider about to save the money. Okay, save the money will be the priority. Okay, for sea shipping. Okay, and then in here, it says about the maximal displacement is like, wow, 210,000 tons. You may not have like kind of imaging in your mind. Okay, but I want to tell you, the weight is not equal to the volume. Okay, the weight is not equal to volume. I always give students this example. 1 kilogram iron, like this size. But think about 1 kilogram cotton. 1 kilogram cotton, it will be like this size. Okay? But once we use the container is calculated by the volume. Okay? So I want to transport 1 cargo of cotton. This is kind of quite expensive, right? But if I want to transport 1 cargo, 1 container of iron, it's worth the money. Okay? They count by the volume. But without a weight limit, the cargo ship will sunken because it's overweight. It cannot holding by the South Sea. Okay? 如果没有重量限制的话，这个货船是会沉的。So they were stating a limit for every kind of a container. So here is it. Displacement, which means the loading, which means the weight loading, it's like 210,000 tons. Okay, their maxima. What factor will decide this weight? What factor will decide its weight? The Suez Canal have its water dips. Okay, have its water dips. The water dips limited the loading of a cargo ship. Do you know how this canal work? They will have to digest the water level, okay? Because the water level from Mediterranean seas and the Red Sea is uneven. They have like 27 centimeters difference between each other. It's not okay for you to totally open whole canal, okay? It will cause another new current and destroy all the structures of this canal. So they're setting a lot of gates in this tunnel. So when you are in Mediterranean seas, they will open one gate, let the water level come to balance, and your ship go inside, and they will close the gate behind you. And then they will open another gate and let the water level become balanced. Your ship come here and look close another gate. They will use this way to make the ocean remain their original sea level. So it won't cause a disaster. So it's not easy. It's not easy to control this canal. But it gives us a financial benefit for Egypt, like 50% of the income for Egypt, this country, is based on this. It's happening this year, March. And unfortunately, this container ship have a name like ever given. It's a Taiwan container ship. But are we going to pay for this kind of a loss? Because not only this container, not only this company losing money, Egypt government losing money too. And all other companies, all other countries, all other people, all other containers need to use this canal was blocked. Okay, so here is another number I cannot remember. Global economy lost 4 billion US dollar per hour. Per hour. And this event continues like 2 weeks, 14 days. Can you count how much money we lost? You know, it's terrible disaster caused by human. No, unfortunately, it's not caused by human. There a little bit mistake made by the captain, but they could not be totally responsible for it. You can see here in this latitude 30, right? 30 to 32, 30 to 32. That is a latitude number. If you still recall, go to the global map here. Around the latitude 30 will be desert, right? What is the picture? What is the landscape of a desert? We don't have much plant. We don't have much plants to stop the wind, right? We only have a sand. And in this kind of a situation, if there is a sandstorm coming, it will directly hit the container. Okay? So this container, they try to go directly passing through the canal, but there is a sandstorm coming and push the ship a little bit. So they miss the direction, only 1 or 2 degree angle. And because it's a huge, extremely huge container ship, just use this picture as an example. This ship should be go directly. Think about the 10 times bigger of this ship. So it's quite close to the edge, to the sea coast. And one sandstorm coming, push it a little bit, and it hitting the wall of this canal, and a little bit reverse to other direction. And you think it's easy to go back? It's easy to go back? For you, for small object, it's easy to turn it around, turn to a different direction. But to such an object, such a huge one, you need to take hours to move a little bit and a little bit, so it will go to the right direction. But unfortunately, it was stuck. After it broke the wall, it stuck into the sand in the desert. And once you break the wall, the water go to the sand. It become a mud, like a swamp, okay? Like a muddy things. So it was stick inside here. So it cannot even go back because it already, stuck in this tiny tunnel. They are liking this way, very, very close to the edge. And once sandstorm coming, it goes to this way, okay? And this part stuck in the desert. And this part, their tail, is also stuck in the desert too. So they cannot go back. They cannot pull back. They could only slowly turning their angle. But once you break the wall, the water coming into the desert is become a mud. Okay, so it stick the ship. So even you give it energy, it cannot pull back. So they will have to use a machine to dig in the sand little by little, both sides, and create empty space so they can make a turning. It's a huge thing. And you may think, yes, we have a machine. We have a machine to help us. But the truth is not like that. Here is talking about the economic things I don't want to focus on here. It's up like 40% of global market. Consider about this number and you know how serious it is. 40% of global market. And you see, the truth is the evergreen company doesn't have to pay any compensation. Why? Because I'm a company, I want to transporting things. Will you buy your own ship? Do you so rich like that? And you hired people to maintenance and then to riding this kind of ship for you. So it's not worth me to buy a ship from my own company. So I rent it. So this ship is belong to Japan company. And Taiwan rent this ship from Japan company. And the company offers the captain and the ship staff for this container ship. So there is almost no Taiwanese people on this ship. Only our staff on this ship, on this container ship. Okay, so who should be responsible for that? Might be the Japanese company. Okay, don't worry. Average company have the insurance. So once this kind of disaster happen, the insurance company will cover it. But there is not like unlimited cover. We only have to pay for the fuel cost. And this company, 日本正荣汽船, they will have paid for all the lost. But the insurance company will only cover 1.4 billion US dollar. Do you still recall how much money we lost per hour? Here is it. 4 billion US dollar we lost per hour. And the insurance company only will cover 1.4 billion. So who should pay the rest? If all the country ask this Japan ship company to pay for their loss, what will happen? Will they got the money? Because think about it, you are the person who was docked behind me. Okay, I'm this container ship. I stocked the Suez Canal, and then you ask me to pay for your loss. And I told you, no, sorry, I only rent a ship from a Japan company. Go to land, asking for your loss. If they all do the same things, what happen will goes to this company. They will make announce like they're broken. Broken company will have money to pay for all of you, right? So what happened next? Of course, the insurance company will pay a little bit, but their limit is only 1.4 billion US dollar. How about the rest part? The truth is, you can only take it. You can only pay by yourself. You could only accept this kind of a loss. So this kind of disaster is not only belong to one company. It's a global event. Especially we're talking about sea transportation. Each disaster is a global event. Okay? If my ship have some accident in the sea, all the country close to me will have to come to rescue me. If you reject doing that, next time your ship have some damage or disaster, we will not save you. Okay? So it's interesting. It's not like we are different country. We have, reversed the position like us with mainland China. We have reversed the policy position, but we still will help each other. We're still helping each other. Okay? So this is the sea transportation. This is the evergreen, this size of the container. Here is some information of this cargo ship. And here is a picture. Each line is a sealing channel of a container ship. So you can see red part means we have more ships working here. Blue part means fewer. And the light blue means no ship. Okay, so average straight line they draw here is based on the experience. In Penghu area here, you can see one circle of a light blue area, right? Why they don't have the ship passing through this area? Why they don't have it? Because the current meet each other here. Like, do you still recall the China sea coast current? China coast current. This current is hot current. They meet here. They create a rising current, which will push your ship turning around upside down. Okay, so in this area, all the ships come here. If it is not big enough, if not with enough power, they will break here. So the people just passing this area, they don't use this area. The same reason as here. This area here is a South Sea surface current to come up here. So it's unstable area. So now you can see, according to this picture, you will know that not average area of the sea is okay for container ship, right? But we still need import natural resource for Taiwan. Otherwise, we will have no power. We don't have a liquid natural gas in Taiwan, so we have to import it. We don't have the iron in Taiwan. We have to import it. Taiwan is like an isolated island here. So we are kind of facing difficult situation. Okay. And here is more. I should not opening this website for you because it's telling about how much safe stock of crude oil we have in Taiwan. But I could give you a data like without import any kind of crude oil, we still could hang on for like half a year. So don't worry, even we have a war, no one can support us. We still could hang on for like half a year. So you should feel safe now. Okay, right. I know it's a little bit boring things here, but you have to know the transportation. Even you go to a harbor, it's not safe yet. Okay, it's not safe. You're traveling on the sea. You're transporting things on the sea. But once you reach the harbor, it's not safe too. You may not know the whole Kaohsiung area. The whole Kaohsiung area was connected to each other, like Zhuoying district, like Gusan district, like Sanming district. All this area was connected not only by the way, by the road, not only connected by the road, underground pipeline connect us to each other. All the red line you see us belong to natural gas. Have you ever opening a steel bottle that contain with natural gas? No. The air will, blow out and make a lot of sounds. It's kind of sound. It's quite noisy because the pressure inside is like 10 times higher than normal atoms. So it's quite dangerous. But all this pipeline, all this red line have higher pressure than the steel bottle. So you can see if one pipeline having a hole, the natural gas is leaking, what will happen? Yeah, it will explode like a bomb. It do happen before in Kaohsiung, right? I think some students can recall that things, Kaohsiung 气爆案. Okay, you can recall that. It's quite dangerous. So it is actually not safe. You're riding a motorcycle on the way, on the road. It's actually not safe. And do you ever see this kind of a car? This kind of a car transport the gas, concentrated liquid gas here. They're like a moving bomb. Okay, they are driving like a 100 km/h speed on the freeway. And if you check the YouTube by searching like accident and this kind of transporting car, air transporting car, and you will see a video like they have a car accident and they start explode. And like within 500-meter circle, 500-meter circle, this kind of area, all the car burning. So it's actually quite dangerous. You're driving a car, driving your own car, automobiles on the high-speed railway, and then there is one kind of air transporting car in front of you. You could only pray there's no accident. Okay, so it's not quite safe, especially living in Taiwan. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Why I'm telling you it is not safe living in Kaohsiung? Because Kaohsiung Harbor have a reception state for all the crude oil, for the natural gas, for the charcoal, for the steel. Kaohsiung Harbor is not a commercial harbor. It's like an industry harbor. But this accident, fortunately, is happening in this container area. So our personal stuff we want to transport by container is central here. They have a bomb here was crushed by the ship because this captain is inexperienced. They didn't know there are rocks under the sea. You need a navigator. Even you have a GPS system, you still need navigator. Like if you see this PowerPoint slide, you can see this is a huge boat, right? If you want to enter a harbor, there are two tiny ships will follow you as your navigator. They are truly familiar of this area, this harbor seats. They know where is the rock. They know where is the tiny current. Okay, so they were guiding you a safe way. But this accident happened like the navigator told the captain, you have to switch a little bit, 1 degree, and you have to turning your direction for 1 degree. But this captain turning 2 degree. And this navigator warning him, hey, correct that. But he didn't do it. Only after 5 minutes, it crashed into the harbor and pushed down a bomb here. This bomb is helping you to holding the container to switch it to different area. And once it crashed down, our company, our staff was stuck here for like 1 month. And we import sweet potato from Japan. We have the air conditioner to maintain the temperature in 14 degrees in all the transporting time. Okay, it's already cost us a lot of money. And this kind of accident happened, and they tell our company, hey, your staff have to wait because we don't have a bomb to dealing with your container. And we're asking about how long it's gonna take to fix this bomb. And they told us, well, like 3 months. And we were shocked. Can you just use another equipment like this bomb here to fix it? And no, it couldn't do it because it was covered by another bomb. Our container is under here, so we cannot move. And we have decided, should we keep paying for the air conditioner for our container to maintain the temperature? And they give us, yes, it takes like 2 or 3 months. It costs a lot. It costs like 2,000 New Taiwan dollars per day for the air conditioner for this 40 feet container here. So it's quite lots of money. And we only transport the sweet potato, okay? Compared to other metal, sweet potato is quite cheap, right? So finally we make a choice. We give up all the sweet potatoes. And we say this container we give up, you just deal with it for us. You just like throwing them away like a garbage. And do you know what? They charge us like 100,000 because dealing with the garbage also need people to doing it. So they ask us to pay it. So you can think about, you can now imagine like that. You want to import something, you're taking risk, not only on the sea, even in the harbor. And now we create one new station in Taoyuan area. This is a reception station for liquid natural gas. We're still building it here. So I think in future, maybe 2 years later, and we will have another red spot here because we have to import the liquid natural gas. Okay, so now it's the transportation. And in the future, I will keep telling you some detail, like what do we have to sacrifice if you want to build this kind of a reception station. Okay, we sacrifice the biology. And here is one example I want to show you. Oil shell. It's one kind of a stone. They have a tiny layer between each other. Maybe you cannot tell this kind of stone. We could squeeze it and make the oil come out. It contains with the crude oil, this kind of stone. easy to make it out or hard to make it out? It's actually quite hard. Okay? So the online student, you can see it. Okay, you can touch it. It will not feel like oily. It will not. It's kind of very dried, but you could touch it. It's company shell. They produce this kind of oil. 你摸一摸，你给人家其他同学去摸看哈。This oil shell. How to make this oil shell become crude oil? They inject extremely hot steam to the underground, which cooking the ground, kill all the bacteria, all the living creature on the ground. But once the steam become hot water, this hot water will push oil out. But first, you will have to break this stone into very tiny pieces. So they use the bone first. They use the bone to break everything, to make it like a powder, and then they inject the steam on the ground and to push the oil out. So after this process, the whole land will not be able to use as other purpose. Okay, even people want to live here now, because all the dirty things is come out to the surface. Okay, so this is a destroying way to getting natural resource. So if we start using this way to get crude oil, tell me, do you think we still have enough crude oil in the whole world? If we start using this kind of extremely way to get oil, do we still have enough crude oil? No. No, we don't have enough crude oil. But unfortunately, the scientists find out undersea crude oil. We find the oil pool undersea. Where is this location? This is located in South China Sea. We have one Taiping Island. All the Taiwanese students, you have to realize that your country, the southeast part is Taiping Island. Okay, the southeast part of Taiwan is not located in Kending. Okay, this is in Taiping Island. Okay, 就是台湾的同学，你要注意这件事情哈。我们的国土的最南端是在南沙群岛的太平岛，不是在垦丁，好吗？好。Here, recently, this area becomes more and more important. All the ships, all the countries wanna go to this public ocean. We say it's public ocean is because in South China Sea, this area, I should tell you another thing. If here is the land of Taiwan, within 200-kilometer distance, this area is economy seat belong to Taiwan, which means we can doing the fishing in here, and all the resource in this area belongs to Taiwan. Okay? But if there is another country, like mainland China, their sea coast is quite close to Taiwan, only like 18-kilometer distance. So how we share it? How we share this ocean? You don't know or you don't care? I think you don't know. We caught in central. Okay, so 40 kilometer belong to Taiwan, 40 kilometer belong to mainland China. Okay, in the central. So there is actually an invisible line in the sea. Okay, we only use the GPS to make sure we follow this order. But sometimes in the news report, you will hear that China have their fishing ships come to Taiwan, this area, and taking the fish here, and then running back, right? And we're sending our Navy to kick them away, to make them go away. Okay, we force them to go away because we follow this order. We follow this order in the central line. But there's another situation. Here is 200 kilometer, and here is another 200 kilometer. Here comes another country, right? His economy ocean is like 200 kilometer. So how about this area? How about this area? It become a public ocean. So everyone could fishing here, doing things here. Okay? And then we go back to this. The Taiping Island is in the central of this area, right? If this island belongs to Taiwan, so there should be 200 kilometer circle, economy sea, belong to Taiwan, right? And unfortunately, here is a group islands here. So you can see here is a Taiping Island, here is Zhenghe Qunjiao, and here is Qunjiao, many Qunjiao, and here tiny green spot, which means it's quite very small island, even smaller than Wenzhou campus. But it belongs to one country. And this country, like Philippines, they will announce that, okay, this area belongs to us. But you know, if this is the ocean, we have high tide, we have low tide, right? Some island is just like this way. In the high tide, they disappear. In the low tide, they showed up. So how to define that? How to define that this is an island, this is an economy area? So actually now, if you talk about the international affair, this area, South China Sea, is a piece of a mess. Okay, no one can deal with it. Everyone try to fishing here. And the mainland China even doing extremely way to create their own economy sea by putting the concrete into the ocean, by putting a lot of concrete into the ocean to create an island. They try to create their own island. And after that, they put some missile station, weapon station on this island to guarding this area. But don't think it's kind of a tricky things. Actually, all the country in this area do the same things, even Taiwan. Okay, even Taiwan. We try to enlarge our island. But we are actually having a competition with Mother Nature. Now we are facing global warming, right? And the sea level rising height so fast, like about 2 centimeter per year in this area. So you try to enlarge this island and the sea level comes up. It's not like only competition between other countries, it's like a competition between Mother Nature. And why those countries being so active to create their own economy sea here is because once you have island, you could get all the resource in this area, right? It's belong to your country, it's economy sea. And unfortunately, we have undersea crude oil here. So if you go to search, like, and you can see all the country like building this size. There's a column here in the central. They like pushing things into the undersea ground and eject the crude oil out. Okay, this is kind of a stations now hugely increased in South China Sea. All the country want to take the crude oil here. So this is why United States want having a ship to passing through South China Sea. They didn't done this before. Okay, not raising their interest because the crude oil. So now you have the pictures like each country are now try to fight each other to get a natural resource, but we're still taking our own risk. Okay. So here is it. Here's the different size of a container. It's not important. I want to only show you. This is the size of different container. This one, triple. This size is the ever given. This container was docked in the Suez Canal. It's this size. It's huge size. And well, oil tanker size catalog. Yes, we have this kind of things. This kind of shape of the container ship is typically designed for transporting the crude oil. Okay, but it's not quite important. What I'm going to tell you is the risk. Is the risk, the natural risk we're facing right now. We already talked about the water dam, right? A huge water dam, water reservoir. If it was destroyed, and some tragedy will happen, like happened in India, right? So let's just analyze data. Here is global economy lost. Here's insured lost. The red line is global economy lost. And the purple line, which means it's covered by insurance. And all these prices rising extremely high and lower and getting higher. So the cost of natural disaster loss in worldwide from 2000 to 2021, July, which is quite very new data, and you can see it is still rising. Okay, July, until July, this data analyzed until July is still rising. Okay, it's still rising. And you can see here is economy loss like 93 billion, what was it? Billion US dollar, I think. Billion, what is billion? Oh, yes, US dollar. Billion US dollar, right? And here is the reason. Here's the reason. Winter weather. God, you may not know that winter weather can cause us such huge loss, like global loss, 16%. It's belong to winter weather. Do you feel any kind of winter weather in Taiwan? No, right? But did you still recall that we talk about the polar circle? That kind of things, polar storm, like it broke the wall and the cold air current comes out and frozen Chicago. I show you the video, right? That kind of thing is so-called winter weather. Suddenly froze and we lost. We cannot move. This is so-called winter weather. In this kind of weather, you will not be able to transport, driving your car on the road, and everything like a stop. Okay? And then this kind of area will getting bigger or become smaller. Think about that. This kind of frozen area will become bigger or smaller in future. Bigger, but we are facing the global warming. Smaller, really? And the teacher told you that like Chicago never been froze by the winter weather, but now it's frozen, right? So if I ask you this question, the true answer is we don't know. We don't know this area getting bigger or smaller because it's flexible weather things, you know, sometimes getting hot, sometimes getting colder, and it's not stable. We are facing a curve, weather curve, like this way. Like this way. If this is temper, TMP, and if it's time, TIME, it's time. We are facing these kind of things. Average dot here, like 100 years, okay? It's not 1 year, it's 100 years, like this way. The weather will go this way. The temperature may rising high and going down, and rising high and going down. sometimes higher, sometimes lower, and then become stable. And again, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, and sometimes extremely low, and slowly recovered to the normal weather and being stable for 1,000 years like that. Okay? 200,000 years ago, 200,000 years ago, we're facing an ice age. Okay? And the temperature in Taiwan is like -4, I think, -4 Celsius degree. And then now the Taiwan in summer is like 36 degree. Okay? We are now in the top here. Maybe we're slowly going down. But it will be reflect. If you record whether in Kaohsiung, like 5 years ago, we have like a 2 Celsius degree. Maybe you don't recall because you're not here. Taiwan students, if you live in Kaohsiung, you may recall that 5 years ago, we have an extremely cold winter, right? Like 2 Celsius degree. It never happened in Kaohsiung. Normally, the lowest temperature in Kaohsiung will be like 11 degree or 12 Celsius degree. But later years, we have 2 Celsius degree. And Taipei City, they have snow. They have snow in Taipei. This is extremely low. So we're facing extremely high, extremely low. It might be getting too stable. Mother Nature will digest it. But now we don't let them have chance. We didn't give the Mother Nature a chance to balance it. Because we keep releasing the carbon dioxide. It causes the global warming. So the temperature, extremely high temperature, still keep going high, keep going high, keep going high, without release. So what will happen next? We're not quite sure. We're still doing the research. Okay? Right. So this kind of cost, insurance cost, called natural disaster. And here is another news. I prepared it on October 14th. Here, average country facing their problem. Like a million China, they don't have enough core supplied. Why? Because you wanted the core, you wanted the charcoal come out. You need to dig the ground, right? You need to dig into the ground, deep the ground, so you could dig the charcoal out, so you could burn it. But what happened? This area have a huge rain. Okay, those mines have a huge rain. So rain become underground water. Let it block the way to for us to digging out the charcoal. Right? So no one can go inside the tunnel, so no one can bring the charcoal out, just because we have a huge rain. Okay? 在这个地方，中国大陆遇到的问题是说，就是整个煤矿的缺乏。它煤矿的缺乏只有一个很简单的原因，就是下雨了。就是下雨了。发生什么事？它就是下很大的雨，所以整个煤矿的矿区都淹掉了，没有人能够把煤矿拿出来，所以就没有煤矿了。Without the charcoal, without the coal, the China don't have enough fire power. Okay, so they start to limit the industry power using. And those industry, they need the power to produce their products. Without the power, without the products, it caused global economy shock. It also stopped global economy. Now the mainland China is a major factory for a whole country. Okay, all the running shoes you use is from mainland China and which country? Vietnam, and also India. Okay, also India. I will not say this country is a poor country. I will not say that. But I will say those countries have more labor, more working people. Okay, they have more population, they have more working people. They ask less salary for survive. because they don't have like this kind of power, they don't have air conditioner, they're burning the poo from cow. Still some area in India, they're burning the poo from cow to getting the fire power. So this kind of country, they are facing this situation. They don't have enough power. They want to survive, so they could only sacrifice their life quality and become a worker for the global. There is a sad story I ever heard from a celebrity. I forgot her name. She told she made a speech in front of a global, and then she said that we don't like be poor. We all want to be a rich person, but unfortunately, we all need a poor person to work for us. And as the student who's sitting in this classroom, you have to realize one bloodless truth, okay? There are 10% of the people, rich people, they are using 90% of natural resource, okay? And the other 19% of people, they belong to poor people. They only share 10% of the natural resource. Okay? Who are those rich people? We are. All the students sitting in here, you're sharing the light, you're using the air conditioner, you have more than 2 clothes or 2 pair of shoes. We are rich people. Okay, you have the chance to take the higher level education. You are the rich people. And please think about this way. This is the reason I ask my students to work harder, because you are the 10%, you're the top 10% of people. You are rich people, and you are using 90% of the natural resource. So don't waste it, okay? Do not throw away clean water, okay? Do not just let go your stuff here, like this one. This plastic bottle here, already sitting here for 7 weeks. The first weeks I'm here, I saw this one standing here. No one want to get it back. Because of what? Because if I lost it, I could buy a new one, right? And do you know how many people in the whole world dyingly want to drink a clean water like this one? Even if they put here for 7 weeks, it's still cleaner than their daily use water. So please think about that, okay? You can just look around, you can see we are wasting our resource. And because we are rich and we didn't recognize we are wasting the resource that belong to the whole world, there are still 90% of people dying for this resource. If you clean it carefully, how long this plastic bottle can be used? Do you have an idea? If you clean it into detail and make it clean, how long this plastic bottle can be used? 4 years? Much higher than 4 years. Not forever. There's nothing is forever. That's too long time, shorter than it. 450 years? Quite very close to 450. If we deeply clean it, when we're taking care of this plastic bottle, it can be used 400 years before it breaks into a tiny piece. Okay? And if this one totally disappeared in the natural, it takes like 1,500 years to make it disappear. But I always tell my students 1,500 years is only a very short time for Mother Natural, right? Do you still recall how old is our Earth? It's 4.8 billion years old, right? It will not become an oil because oil needs a lot of pressure and heat. It takes like 50 million years or longer time to create crude oil. Yes, there's a chance. There is a chance, but it should be quite deep. And it's also very hard to take it out. Again, the crude oil we're using today is belong to dinosaur. Okay, which means 60 million years ago. It is from 60 million years ago. Okay, so reuse it. Please reuse it, like me. Okay. Average country facing their problem. England, Britain tried to exist. The what is it? I cannot pronounce it quite right. Yeah, thank you. They wanted to exist it, but what happened? If you are in this group, you can find the labor, find the workers from all other countries with a quite cheap price. But if you exist it, all the labor should come from your own country. They could not find enough bus driver. So no one can drive the bus. No one can drive the air transporting car, right? And no one can drive those crude oil transporting car. So in whole country, they don't have enough gasoline. And here is a picture. There's a long line of the car waiting in the gas station, and all the fuel is gone, it's sold out. So it's another disaster. What happened with it? Not only because they try to exist European, the other thing is COVID-19, right? COVID-19, this kind of a disease making people sick or die, so they cannot work. Transportation is not enough due to the worker in the harbor get the COVID-19. Okay, I told you that the container ship reached the harbor and we need people to do the detailed, smaller transportation to spread it into every area in the country. But now United States also short of this car driver, these transporters. So they could not separate all the resource into all the area of the country, which means like a Costco, they have nothing to sell, which means Walmart, they cannot transporting their stuff to other people. This news there's an alert from I think BBC News told us if you want to buy a gift in Christmas, you should done it in August. Yeah, otherwise you cannot get your Christmas gift. The whole United States transporting system is now crushed. And Joe Biden make 3 ways to solve this problem in last week. He said he will ask Los Angeles airport to work. It was only working 8 hours before, but now it become 24 hours and 7 days a week. So they will have to fully working now. And they were hiring more people if they are qualified to being a bus driver, no matter how old they are. They could start driving a car for the airport. These are the first things. And then they required a private company to increasing their quantity of transporting. Okay, they were using more car to do the transportation and hire more truck drivers. It's like what I say. These 3 ways is the way Joe Biden says. And we should keep watching this news and see maybe next week did they improve this better situation. Okay? And India also core shortage. China and India are very close to each other. So they are all facing this kind of weather problem, raining. Okay? In Taiwan, last year we don't have rain. This year we have better. We don't have much typhoon, but some typhoon pour the rain inside. So we have enough water this year. But maybe next year in spring, between spring and summer, we will have another water shortage. Maybe. Okay, but in China and India, they have too much water, too much rain. Okay, they are facing this problem. And this is another slide that told us, yes, the price of the container. Like our company, we import and export stuff. We use container, right? We have to pay for the container. It's terribly high price. This is a US dollar, okay? This is US dollar, 140 feet container, which can transport like 400 boxes of sweet potato. And it costs us $9,669 US dollar for 140 feet container. Okay, if it's not learned enough, this one, 276% higher than next year. And you know, the prices, if the pricing last year, it's already like 200% higher than 2 years ago. So can you see how much pressure our company facing because we want to exporting things? So what should we do? We may raising the sale price, okay? So who will be suffered with it? The consumer, right? You will be suffer for it. You are buying things more and more expensive. Have you tried to refill the gasoline for your motorbike? Did you pay more for the gasoline? Yes, it's much, much higher. It's now for me, the 95, we say 95 gasoline. I'll have to pay 32 Newton dollars per liter. But in the same month, in October last year, it's only 29. Wow. And I will have to refill like a 40 liter to filling my car every time. I will to do the refill for 7 days, 7 days. So it will be raising like 160 Newton dollars per month for me. It's 2 meal for me. Okay? We all have to pay more. But in this moment, we also facing another terrible things like the extinctions of the wild animal. Right? I already told you the water, the land, the air, and the transportation, right? And the land we are talking about the living creature with us, which means more related to biology things, right? But this is a sad news. The US announced this that US Fish and Wildlife Service announced in September 29th, and this is ivory-billed woodpecker is totally extinct in the wild, which means this animal disappeared. You will never have a chance to see it. And it is a quite famous cartoon idol. This one, Woody Woodpecker. How many of you know this cartoon icon? Me too. We are old. No, we are in different country, maybe. Yeah. I saw it when I was a child, when I was 6 or 7 years old. At this moment, my mom studied in United States. She also sending me a picture she take for this woodpecker with red head. So I clearly remember this species, but it's now disappeared. Well, what a sad story. But the truth is, we are now facing the 6th mass extinction in the whole world. In Chinese, 我们现在正在面临第6次大灭绝。In this earth, we already discovered 5 times mass extinction. Last time is dinosaur. Dinosaur totally extinct because there is a falling star hitting the earth. And this star burning out all the oxygen. So almost all the living creature was killed because of the lack of the oxygen. This is the 5th mass extinction. But now we are facing the 6th extinction. How serious it is. Here. This number of species will disappear this year. Can you count it? We have 365 days, right? Which means one day we will have like 380 species disappeared. And one day we have 24 hours, which means 15 species will disappear within 1 hour. Okay, so we now have 2-hour classes, right? 30 species is disappearing right now.